Wow, that's quite loud today. Oh, good God. Hey, welcome to Friday Happy Hour Hangout here at the Director's Garage. What's all that noise? I'm your host and resident idiot. Oh, it's my phone making noise. I'm your host and resident idiot, Michael, and we're here on a Friday. Welcome, everybody. Cheers. We made it through the week. And I've got a few things planned for today. We're going to try something interesting and different. I'm going to preview my next episode. Just a little snippet, like the first minute or so, just to give you guys a taste of what's to come here on the nuttiness that is the Director's Garage. Cheers, everybody. Okay, I got to get this off my head because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. I don't know how you guys can stand it. So we're going to do a little bit of that. Stones album, new Stones album. We've got to talk Stones for a minute because there's a number of things that are going on with the Stones. And this, for all of you who are kind of new around here, this is me stalling for more people to shuffle in before we actually get to something. And the new Stones album's out. It's called Hackney Diamonds, and it's on Tidal. And I listened to a few tracks. Haven't listened to the whole thing in its entirety, and I'm going to get to that, I think, tonight. I'm hoping. But I've been really hard at work on the next episode. The next episode is a whopper. It is 30 minutes long. It's really long. It's a big episode. Supersized. But back to the Stones for a second. They had an album premiere in New York last night at a local club. And Lady Gaga showed up and sang her song with them. They did a song together on the new album. It's this gospel-y number. Really good. Really good. And from what I've heard of the new album, it's lively. I don't think it's like up to the vintage Stones par. I don't think they shoot for that level anymore. I think they just put out songs that are good, and they're good songs. But there's nothing there that I think is like, oh my gosh, this is new ground for the Stones, and it's amazing in their 80s they're taking it here. I think it's amazing that they're standing up and playing music at this age. And so but from what I've heard of the new record, I've heard about 3 or 4 songs on it, and it sounds good. It sounds like typical stuff that I'd want to hear from the Stones, and then I like the gospel number because that's different. And anytime they do something that's a little off the beaten path, I'm all in favor of that. But Lady Gaga showed up in New York City last night and sang with the Stones at this tiny little club. There's clips of it on YouTube. I won't put it up because I don't want to lose the 40 cents that this show will bring. If you remember, the last time I did a live stream and I showed some Stones stuff, just the video, I got demonetized. They took my 45 cents. Damn it! Damn it! There goes my mortgage payment. Too funny. Really too funny. Contest is thank you guys for everybody who entered. The contest is closed now. Anybody who's puts their names in the comments below that video, I won't be taking them in. The contest closed on the 13th. That was a week ago. And all of those headphones back there, except for the front one, that's the Audeze LCD i4. All of the ones in the background there's 6 of them. Those are going to go out in either the next episode or the next episode after that. It depends on how it all plays out. I got to get this electrostatic episode finished. I am 3/4 of the way done with it. It's really close. But I'm going to show a preview of that as soon as we get everybody kind of into the mix. Hope things are sounding good and looking good today. It seems like we got a good mix, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's not too bad. I might be a little low. Whatever. Y'all get the gist of it. Too fun. What else is going on in our world? Lots of bad stuff. Like I don't even turn on the news anymore. I don't even watch it. I don't want to know. Oh, I know it's missing. We're missing a little light here. Oh, look at that. I've got an uplight. And you thought all of this was just makeup. Too funny, guys. Too funny. Been a long week. I had a lot of shooting this week, so that kind of got in the way of getting the episode done. And then Wednesday I had a shoot right when we would normally do our live stream, so I had to push to Friday. And yesterday was a mess too. So a lot of messes. What can I tell you? So the contest, we're going to be doing that episode coming up where I reveal all the winners and we'll send all the stuffs out. And I'll get to the live chat in just a minute. I'm just going to roll through some stuff. Had a guy interested in the LCD i4. He called me or he wrote me at our special email address, which you guys can send your stuff to. That's directorsgarage@gmail.com. My one special effect for the entire hour that we're on, or whatever it is we're going to do today. Yeah, he emailed me there and asked about him, and he wanted him, and then he was like, and then he waffled, and I'm like, whatever. Get back to me if you're interested. I have two types of people. I have three types of people. I get people that like call and buy immediately. They're like, they write me and go, I want it, just tell me where to send money, and they send money and it's done. And then I have the second group of people that like, they write me and then I write them back and then they like get real waffly on me and I'm like, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm like, either take it or don't. I'm not going to get it. And then you have the guys who write you and go, well, I know it's a $1,200 headphone, but you should give it to me for $300. Like, okay. Okay, because, you know, I don't want to lose the home. So that's usually what happens, but usually it's the first kind. They just come in and they say I want it and we go. What else is happening? There's not much out in the new in the headphone world in advance of CanJam Dallas, so there's not much to talk about in the headphone world right now because nothing's new. Although I got an email from Audeze about 2 hours ago. I don't know what it was. Maybe I should look. If only there were a thing that could tell me what all my emails were. And it's AES New York. No, it's nothing. They don't have any new products. It's just they're just announcing they're going to be at AES in New York, which is October 21st. No, it's October 25th and 27th. They're in booth 403 if anybody's interested. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What an interesting couple of days for a show. That's odd. And then I got an email telling me that we're live on the air. If you guys don't ring the bell and subscribe, you won't get such a notification as I did. Enough of that. So the other thing I want to do is I'm going to episode 208 preview. Let's go to a couple of chats and then we'll go to my little. I'm gonna premiere. I'm gonna try something different, and that's I'm gonna give you the first minute of the next episode as a preview and see if there's anything there. I just try things sometimes because I thought it would be cool. And what I was thinking about it was like they tell you, oh, put out a short. You know, YouTube says put out a short like a preview, a trailer of your next episode or something, and I'm like, well, everybody's doing that. So I'm like, what can I do that's different? I'm like, I'll do it on the live stream. Let's see what happens there and see if we get some interesting discussions going. Ace of Spades says, running to the barber, so pole. Okay. Don't run into that pole, Ace of Spades. Oh, I got to get this in a better spot so I don't look like I'm looking off into Narnia. Let's put it over here. Oh, I'm going to need that, though, later for the thing. We'll put that over here. I'm just going to rearrange all my windows. And for those of you who don't know, I have two big monitors right here that all this shit happens on. So I got to try to put stuff so I'm not looking like rudely to the west here or the east or whatever it is. So likely can't make the live chat. I'm sorry, Ace of Spades. Well, cheers to you, brother. I hope you have a good weekend. Hope everything is going well with you. GF3 Joe! Yo! Isoparametrics. What's that hum? There was a what you call it outside. There was a guy with a chainsaw, like working a chainsaw. And then we had a hum a couple weeks ago, which I finally cleared up. Thank God. Happy Friday, says Ken Workshop. Happy Friday. Cheers to you, Ken Workshop. Good evening, Michael and guys. What's up, Tommy V? Anthony Berryman saying checking in. GF3 Joe says, hey, did I miss the giveaway announcement? No, that's coming. It takes me, because I'm lagging behind in when this stuff happens, it takes me a long time to do anything on this show. It's a little production intense, except for the live stream. Even the live stream is like, you know, we do stuff where I have different video sources, and normally they have like a crew that helps line all this up, and I'm doing it all myself on the fly. So when things go wrong, it's all on me. But the shows lag behind because I'm in production on something else. And last Friday, the contest closed. And I've already copied all the names over. It's all ready to go. I just have to produce that episode, which will either be the next episode after the electrostatic episode, which is going to be the full review of the Stax SRX9000. I've been working my butt off on this. I'm really happy with how this episode's coming out. I hope you will be too. And I'm going to give you a little teaser in a few minutes. And then after that, we'll either do the giveaway episode, or we'll do the What's in the Box, which is that box right back there. It's a mystery What's in the Box, something sent to us from our friends at Audio 46. And I don't know what's in it. I have no clue what it is. It's just sitting there burning a hole on my desk. Like, what's in this? Is it really good? The last time they sent me something, it was a $5,000 headphone from Yamaha. So they don't, you know, there are some guys who, like, you know, they'll like, oh, we'll send you stuff, and then it's like, well, it's our latest $30 headphone, or it's our, you know, well, it's a $500 headphone from, you know, HiFiman. They play with live ammunition at Audio 46 because they send us like the best of the best stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. And it's so fun for me because I have no idea what they're sending, and literally as I'm making the show, it's like I'm seeing it for the first time as the camera's seeing it, which turns into the show. So it's all happening in real time, which is really fun. And so anyway, so it's either going to be that episode or it'll be the giveaway winners, whatever it is. And I'll maybe I'll even put a poll out on my, you know, on the community page. I give updates as to what's going on with the show and where it's at. And I'll give a screenshot of the next episode and talk about, you know, hey, I'm going to be live streaming Wednesday or whatever. That's on the community tab. And I don't know if that, when you click the bell thing and get notifications, I don't know if it notifies when somebody posts on that or if you just got to kind of be around. I don't know. But anyway, the giveaway announcement has not been made yet, and that'll be a full episode where I just dedicate it to giving away, you know, announcing all of the winners, and then I'll send all the stuff out because that's what I do. There you go. My Lord, in their 80s. I know. We should be so lucky to be making that kind of music when they're in their 80s, and they sound pretty good. I mean, we all know the struggles that McCartney has had with his voice, and he's up there too. And Mick, you know, he stopped. I mean, I would make the argument that he kind of stopped singing in the 70s, you know, because he kind of went to this more shouty approach to stuff. But he still does it a little bit. I mean, he's got some nice tone, and his voice is in relatively pretty good condition, I think, for an 80-year-old guy. I mean, I hope I can sing like that I can't sing like that now. So I hope I can sing like that well in my 80s. That would be awesome. Elenata, cheers, buddy. Cheers. Glad you could stop by today and hang out with us. And everybody crack open your beers. It's happy hour, boys. It's happy hour. So good to be here. Glad you could stop by. Glad all of us are here today. And stopping by for a little bit of madness. It's a good time. If you guys are drinking something spicy, let us know in the chat. Let us know what you're sucking down. I'm sucking down some iced tea because I just got off work. You guys don't know, I'm writing when I'm not shooting. I'm writing, and I was writing up until the last possible second. So and then I'm like, oh shoot, I want to preview the next episode. Where'd I put that file? And it's like, it's on this computer, and I got to get it over on this computer, and none of the lights are on. And are all the lights on? Yeah, it looks like they are. You know, sometimes I forget the candles, forget to mute the TV. It's a joke. It's a running joke around here. We don't take the live stream too seriously, and nobody should. Not in this world. What are my daily use? Muhammad. Oh, I'm gonna mess this up. Charismawan. I like it. Great name, man. great name. What's your daily use speakers? Well, my daily use speakers are Genelec. I have Genelec 8040s that are 20 some years old. I bought them back in the 80s. They sound magnificent. There is a subwoofer that I also added to this package, a Genelec subwoofer. So, and I've got it tuned to my liking, which is a nice thump through the subwoofer, but not too much thump, to where it interferes with my, turntable or something. But yeah, I've had Genelecs here forever. It's my main go-to speaker, and it's what I mix on. It's what I listen to music on most of the time when I'm not using that. I do have over there, I have a pair, Holly's asleep on top of one of them. I have a pair of Vandersteen 3A signatures, which is Vandersteen's mid-tier loudspeaker. And I have a Krell amp that drives them. Right now, one of them has something loose inside of it, because after I did the move, I plugged them in, I turned them on, and the bass speaker was rattling, and I don't think it tore the speaker. I think something actually came loose in the travel, so I have to tear that speaker apart. And where I'm at with my Vandersteens are, if I'm going to tear them apart, I'm going to really tear them apart, because I've had 20 years of cat claws on those speakers at least. Probably more than that. Probably 25 years of cat claws on those speakers. So there are holes in the nylon. It's really bad. I've since bought a pair of covers from a company that makes custom covers for gear. They're quilted, so Holly can tear the crap out of them, and it won't tear the crap out of the speaker underneath. But I'm actually going to write Vandersteen, and they're going to send me a kit of a new top and bottom for each speaker, and then all new nylon, so I can actually remanufacture the speaker on my own. They send out instructions. It's not that hard, and I'm pretty good with wood and working and doing woodworking stuff and small projects. So I'm going to actually do a full refurbish on them, replacing the bottom plate and the top plate on the speakers, which is sort of the sandwich, and then I'll put a fresh new nylon on everything to make the speakers like new again, because they really need it. They're in terrible shape, and they sounded great at the old house, but something happened in the move, and as soon as I heard the rattling on the woofer, I'm like, either something tore the woofer in transit, or something came loose inside the speaker and dropped down into the woofer, like a screw or something, and it's rattling around down there. So those are my listening speakers when I have a chance to do that, but obviously they're all out of commission right now. It's all set up to go, and I have all of this stuff wired together in a weird way. There's wires everywhere. There's wires under rugs. There's wire over rugs. There's wires through the walls. There's wires everywhere. But it's all wired. It's just I can't use it right now because of the speaker situation. But thanks for asking, and I hope and I would highly recommend Genelecs to anybody who wants them. They're very expensive, near-field powered speakers, and they sound magnificent, and they're terrific for production and doing mixes on and stuff. Just terrific speakers. So there we go. So that's that. Where are we at? We're at, Alanette, it says, are you going to use a lotto ball machine? No, I'll tell you exactly how I do it. I put every name, and this is, I know, I've had a million people tell me how to do it, which is to, you need to, there's an app on the web, and you just tell it something and it spits out your winners and all that. I'm like, I don't know. What I do is I put all the names into a spreadsheet, and then that assigns everybody a number, and then I use a random number generator to generate the winning numbers. And then each one of those, first 6 I choose, they go out. And then if I've had situations where people don't claim the prize, don't claim it, and in that case I hold the product until the next giveaway, and I just give it away again. That's what I do. So there you go. I'm totally transparent about it. It's nothing too fancy. It's kind of old school, but it works for me, and I'm happy doing it that way. Dirk Connor says, good evening, gents. He's taking a break from the Spartacus for the live stream. Oh, the Spartacus. How good is that, Dirk? Isn't that like, that is one of the most fun IEMs I've heard in a while. I think they're really stunning to look at. And Anthony Berryman is like the same way. What do you think of them? What do you think of them? I heard them at CanJam LA, CanJam SoCal, and I thought they were just fantastic. And it's another hit for. They're in the fun lane. You know, you have the audiophile lane, and you have, let's try that again in English. You have the audiophile lane, and you have the fun lane. They're firmly in the fun lane, and I just think they're terrific. I'm super huge fan of those, and they're not, you know, they're expensive, but they're not like over $2,000, which is nice to see. You always like stuff in the mid tiers that is accessible to stuff like the Monarch Mark III, things like that. It's nice to have headphones like that, and that's great. Cheers. And then technically, Isoparametric says he's technically still working, so he better not crack a beer. I am distracting him, though. Watch out for the forklift. I don't know where you work, man. That's great. Dirk says he's really enjoying them. That's fantastic. Anthony Berryman listened to them at CanJam London and thought they were very fun sounding IEM. Probably get a set next year or something. I just think they're beautiful. They're just beautiful to look at, man. It's just awesome. That's awesome. And Dirk says to Anthony he highly recommends them. I totally agree. Okay, I'm going to break here. We've got a lot of people in right now, really nice. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to do this. And bear with me, if it doesn't go well, I have to stop and restart. But I'm going to try to preview on this show the first minute of the next episode. And just to give you guys a taste. It's a tease. This is a tease of what's coming in the next episode. And this is the first minute as I've cut it. I've got about 14... No, I've probably got about 16 minutes cut of this, but it's going fast. I'm in the video, the last pass, which is the video pass, and having fun with it. So I'm going to, right now, give you guys the first minute of the next Director's Garage episode, and we're going to premiere it live. I wish I had some kind of like fancy animation. Okay, we got to take the music down, because that's going to be a problem. And then I got to come over here and I got to turn the audio on the laptop up. And then I'm going to cut my mic. Oh, we got to get this. I'm just walking through all these steps to get this to work right. Oops, nope. We got to go full screen on the laptop. It's going to come off my laptop. So I've got to have the laptop up and ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This is the first minute of the next episode of the Director's Garage, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's not too loud. I hope the sound comes in. I hope all the things work. All right, let's go to it. All right, here we go. And I got to go to the laptop though. There. And here we go. Welcome back to the Director's Garage. That was a strike. I am your host and resident idiot, Michael, and today, folks, we are back on the electrostatic train. And today, I'm pulling out all the stops as I break down the sound of this Stax SR-X9000. And what I'm going to describe today is the sound of a headphone that I believe resets the bar on reference sound. And I'd argue that that old bar was set by this headphone right here, the Hifiman Susvara. This is the standard for reference, detail, and balance if you have a painfully expensive amp to send the Susvara into the sonic stratosphere. Well, now with the X9000, you just need an energizer that will kill your budget on an already wallet-busting ear speaker whose price is a whopping $6,500. Why do we do this? All right. I'm also going to compare this headphone with both the Susvara and the Audeze Carbon, or Kerbin, later in this episode. And I'm going to reveal how you can turn the X9000 into a solid challenger for the Abyss 1266 TC. How's that for a tease? Yeah, boy. This is going to be a long one, so let's dig in. stop. It was so smooth. It was running so smooth there for a second. I almost pulled it off seamlessly, except it looped around to the beginning of the clip again. Well, that's okay. So there you go. That's the first minute of the next episode. And is this playing? I like lost my background. Oh, there we go, because we got to turn it up. Oh, yeah, okay. Now we got some music down low. So I really wanted to try that as something different, because you know I like to do different things on this show. I enjoyed like mixing things up and trying. So I thought, why not? Like, why not preview what's coming? Because I've been working on it so long. It's been so long since I did an episode. The last episode was the Can Jam episode, which got a lot of views. And I really have been excited. And as you can see, this is the camera that I use for B-roll, this giant ass Nikon with a tilt shift lens. This lens pivots, and that's how you get some really interesting focus effects. And then back there is the SRX9000 on the tree, set up for doing some B-roll, because I was shooting B-roll early this morning for it. So, you know, I thought it would be cool to kind of give you guys an advanced preview of this, what I've been working on, and if you like just count that intro and all the cuts and the dissolves and the music changes and the sound effects and all that stuff, it's like there is so much that goes into 1 minute of this episode of this show. It's crazy. It's crazy. I really built myself a very complex box that I'm now trapped in, because it's like I keep trying to like up my own production value or change up my production value, or, you know, try different things and to come up with new ideas for things and ways to show stuff. And then in addition to just doing the nuts and bolts of listening intensely to a headphone and try and describe it with words and visuals in the best way I can. And so I don't even know where it's going. I just like it's interesting to me. So it was fun. I have about 16 minutes cut, but it's like, you know, obviously I don't want to give too much away because I want the people to actually tune in and watch the next episode when I put this kind of time into it. And I've got over a week in cutting in this thing so far, because it's just so long. And it's why I try to keep my episodes under 20, but this is a special headphone. It's like the Caldera type thing. It's like there's something really special about it. And then I discovered some stuff about the headphone that's really interesting about the SRX9000, stuff that nobody's talked about with this ear speaker, if you guys prefer ear speakers. So I'm anxious to get that out there and really show it off and talk about it. I'm a huge fan of Stax, and I'm a huge fan of headphone audio in general, or I wouldn't do this show. So there you go. That's the sneak preview of the next Director's Garage episode. That's episode 208. We're in our second season. Overall, I think we're somewhere around 150 episodes deep into this channel. Isn't that crazy? So let's go back to the chat and we'll continue on. I don't have anything else like set plays for today, so now it's all on you guys asking questions, and we're chatting and we're going through it. There you go. So cool. Listen, we did that. Highly recommend them. Here we go. Ken Workshop, did you do that firmware update for the DCS yet? Ken, I did one upgrade that allowed for a volume control on the unit. And that was like the first update. Is there a second one that I'm not aware of? Because I don't get all of the stuff. I don't always, and I miss stuff. Stuff comes into my emails all the time. Reminds me, I got to text my goddaughter. Random. #random. But yeah, I have not done a recent firmware update. But it's all connected to the internet. It's just a matter of clicking a button and it does it. It's pretty cool. And I really, I can't stress enough how much I like that DCS Lena DAC, and it still has me pining for the other two elements of that stack the more I'm going into this hobby. I got to listen to a lot more of that Lena stack on a couple of different setups at CanJam, and boy, it just never ceased to amaze me. I was more and more impressed the more I listened to it. And as I said in the video from the CanJam video, what I was surprised about, because most people are saying, well, you don't really, the headphone amp is okay. It's not great. I listened to it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought this is one of the better, I don't know if the best, but it's one of the better headphone amps I've heard, period. So I was really impressed with it. I thought DCS has killed it on that stack, and they should. It's $31,000 to pick it up, new. I'm trying to piecemeal it off of used pieces, but oh, the other thing I got to announce, I sold something. There's a gap in the back there. You know what was there, folks? That was where my Blue Hawaii was. I have sold the Blue Hawaii. A guy bought it from the Midwest, and I shipped it out, and I got the price I wanted for it, and he's happy with it. He had the same questions I did. It seems to really need a lot of power to get a lot of volume out of your ear speakers. And I said, that's just the nature of it. I said, the only thing I would tell you is maybe try some different tubes. That could possibly change the equation if you get a more efficient tube or something. Maybe the ELs that I had in there weren't weren't great or something. But I never had the time or the willpower to do tube rolling on the electrostatic. I think I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. I enjoyed the hell out of that amp. But I have this monster back here that was another $6,000 or something. So, and it's got the special attenuator, the 50 R50 attenuator, whatever it is. And so for him, I'm like, I don't need the tube amp on top of it. I'm satisfied with this KGS SHV Carbon CC. Why do they do that? I'm very pleased with what that what that amp does for all of my electrostatics, and I see no need to double down and have that much sitting back there in amps. And I always tell people they're always diehard people for any given product. If I ever decided to sell my beloved prized Atrium, I'll get a flood of ZMF fans who will be like, how could you sell that? That's the best headphone on the planet. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you have to realize a couple of things. Number one, I can't keep everything in house. I'm not Wells Fargo. And I'm less Wells Fargo since we bought the house, as I joke about on the show all the time. So I need to turn stuff over to have money to go and do some other things. And then the other thing I mentioned is, look, if I ever miss them, I can always buy them again. Look, I've made it no secret that one of my long-term desires is I sold the Sultan when I got the Viking Ragnar. And upon doing that, I realized how much I loved the Sultan. As great as the Viking Ragnar is, it's a technically marvelous headphone, but for an everyday pair of headphones at the cost of $4,000, why do we do this again? At the low cost of $4,000, it's a spectacular. It's the IEM that most speaks to me, my personal tastes, and it was the headphone that I took with me everywhere, and now I want another pair. So I'm going to be buying. I miss it, and yeah, I'm going to be buying another pair of those at some point. Not tomorrow, but at some point. That's something that's in the works for me. But yeah, any of this stuff I have no problem selling off with the knowledge that I need the money to roll over into other parts of my audiophile experience that I want to explore, and good for the show, right? And then I can always buy another pair. I can always buy another Blue Hawaii amp if I want to. So yeah, I did. So, but I got rid of it, sold it off, and now we've got some extra money. Well, that money went to the house. We've had a brutal. Do you know that the IRS wants money every year? Did you know that? Did you know that the IRS wants a lot of money every year? They do. They do, guys. They do. They want money, and we had to pay it. The cost of America. Damn it. And if I didn't pay it, I'd be doing the show from jail. So I decided to pay it. It's funny how things work. Yeah, okay. So highly recommend them. We did that. Scientific. I like it. Yes. Have you listened to the Stage 3, Michael? No. They may have had them there. There were a couple that I really wish I had more time for. But what happened was I was at the table, and then I started talking with the guys because I'm friends with Noble guys, and one thing leads to another, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta go. I gotta go hear other things, or I'm gonna have a very boring Can Jam episode on Monday when I do it. So no, I didn't get a chance to hear the Stage 3. Drinking problem, boys. Don't drink and drive. Don't drink in YouTube. Kevin Jock says, nice live switching. You can tell I come from a broadcast background. I will tell you, I did run Master Control back in the 1980s for a PBS station. I'm not kidding. It was a Master Control. And let me tell you, I got a good story about this. Back in the, I ran Master Control for several, and one summer they sent me up to Olney, Illinois to run Master Control at our sister station WUSI, which is where which is the slate that I use for my like and subscribe. There's an inside joke there. Nobody's ever asked me about it. Like, what's that photo about? And it's of a TV station. That's the station back in, I think it was the summer of 1987. That's the station that I ran Master Control on. And I had the night shift. So I would come in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would stay till sign off. I got good stories about this because the staff would leave every day about 3, 4 o'clock. They were there for the first hour, for my first hour on the air. And what you're doing in Master Control is you are handling all of the station breaks. So what happens is you put on a show off of, say, the network. That station in particular did a lot of network stuff. So at exactly 4 o'clock, you would cut to the network, which was just like, it was like tuning into a TV channel. So you push a couple of buttons on a switcher, and the network was then going out over the airwaves, okay? And you would sit there for 52 minutes until that show ended. And then when that ended, it would go to black, and I would either have, if I stayed on the satellite, it would go to bars and count down to the next show at the top of the next hour. So you have to get off of that, and you have to go to some programming material on your station for about 8 minutes or so. So we would have promos. On most places, all this is automated now. There's no, all of it's automated. There's nothing to do manually. But back then, you had a switcher with levers and dials and all sorts of stuff if you were fancy. But Olney, Illinois, which is it's known to be the world's largest population of albino squirrels, and that's on their sign as you drive into Olney. I love this town. It's heartland America. It's the best. And I'm at this transmitter, which is in the middle of nowhere. You're in the middle of a farm field, of a bunch of farm fields, and there's this 1,200 foot tall antenna sticking out back with these guy wires that are holding it in place. And in the winter, ice would fall off of these things and crack onto. I mean, if you were outside and you got hit by a chunk of ice off of the tower, you were going to the hospital. So you got to be real careful around these things. And I'd have to take these readings off of the transmitters in the middle of the night, because as the night's going on, the FCC required that you would like document how much voltage and how much wattage you were putting out, and what the engineering staff want to know what the pressure on the klystrons were running at, and this all ran on super high pressurized water. They were called klystrons, were the thing that amplified the signal. And you're out there in the middle, and it's a lightning storm, and you're thinking, I'm basically sitting on a bomb, and the antenna is a giant wick. You know, one strike, boom, it's all going up, and you're gonna die. But those are the thoughts you have in the middle of the night in Olney, Illinois, when you're taking transmitters. But back to the master control situation. Now, most master control switchers are very advanced, and they have you have an audio portion, and then you'll have a video portion, and there's like electronics that'll coordinate that for you, and audio will follow video, all that. In Olney, Illinois, it was literally it was a panel of buttons. So to switch from one to the other, you just cut, and it hard cut between each thing. And because it was a low budget situation there, you know, it's PBS. They have no money, and they're at the bottom of the food chain. They had 3 cassette decks to record and 3 cassette decks to play back. So stuff is feeding in, and you've got to remember to roll your record decks, and this is to record episodes that are going to air some other time in the future on the channel. So you're in charge of rolling records on up to 3 decks at a time on an hour-long cassette to record a program. Meantime, you've got to queue up your station break, which is going to be, like I said, about 8 minutes, and then a station ID. So you queue up these 3 decks, and what you have to do is pre-set up about 10 of these cassettes.
Here's what I found.
No, Siri, you're not supposed to listen to me. So you put the first deck in, and you're on pause 2 seconds before the break starts. So the network thing is rolling out, and they're rolling their credits, and you see the time coming up, and you count it down to 1, and on 2 you have to unpause this deck, and it starts rolling, and at 0 you hot punch to that deck. You push 2 buttons at once. One is audio, one is video, and that rolls. Now that has 30 seconds. So at 28 seconds, you have to unpause deck number 2. And at 0, you punch that deck up, and that deck's live. And now you have to eject deck number 1 and put your next cassette in, because you've got 10 of them stacked up on your deck. And you push play and pause at the same time, and it's ready to roll. And then as that one gets to 28, you unpause the deck number 3, and you hot punch that at 0, and then the third deck is hot. So then you pull out deck number 2 and put the next cassette in there, and when you get to 28, you go back to deck number 1, and you have to hot punch. So you're doing all of this as you're multitasking, and you don't want to mess up, because it's really embarrassing, because, you know, if you take the wrong deck, you'll go to that deck, and it'll be paused, and like people will see like just a paused cassette, you know, somebody like this. And that's how you run your station breaks. But my little contribution to this affair was the ID at the end. Now, the ID at the end was a film projector that projected a slide. And it was they would change the slide every half hour or in between everything. And so it might be a shot of a tree, you know, a beautiful tree with the Channel 16 logo on it. Or maybe it'll be a shot of a train going across the plains with a Channel 16 logo on it. This is back in the 80s. You know, all this stuff is much more complex now, and it looks much fancier. Digital graphics, the whole thing. But back then it was a slide. And so you'd put which is basically a photograph, right? So because this was a hot punching situation, there was no fade lever. You couldn't fade into your station ID. You would just cut to the slide. It would just pop up on the screen, and you'd play a cart, which was a little tape machine, little 8-track deck, basically, only it had one track on it. And you'd push play, and it would play music for 12 seconds, and then it would go, "You're watching Channel 16, WUSI-TV in Olney, Illinois." And then it would play to a fade, and if you did it right, the network, as you're running out of music, the network would be counting into their next program, and when that came up, you'd pop to the next satellite feed, and you would you're clear for another 50 minutes. And that's how this would work. Well, my little contribution to the world, and I know those people in Olney appreciated this. I got fan letters for this. I didn't. But as I would cut to the slide chain, I would have the light bulb on the slide chain off. And when I turned the light bulb on, it made a fade on of the slide. It faded on. And at the end of it, just as I was going to the network, I would turn the light bulb off, and it would glow to nothing, and it would fade to black, and then I would take the next thing. And I thought that was the most genius use of special effects. Steven Spielberg would have been proud of what I accomplished in Olney, Illinois. That's my Olney, Illinois story, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I didn't bore you. I have no viewers. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. Okay, so that's Olney, Illinois. So there you go. Scientific stage 3. So that's my Kevin Jacques. That's my story. Cheers to me for being a broadcaster. Oh, those were the days. And I got paid almost nothing for it. But they had good food there, I got to say. Looks good. Look forward to the next episode. These are all about my preview. Those of you who are tuning in late, rewind. I played a minute of the next episode in the middle of this live stream, just as a preview, because I'm trying something different. Okay, so, and then Burp Dolo. So the carbon winner, so the carbon is the winner. Oh, I thought you meant in the giveaway, like I'm giving away my carbon now. It's so good. There's so much to say about that headphone, and I'm super excited. And I am going to reveal some really interesting things about the SRX9000 that nobody has talked about. You're trying new things. How about dancers in cages behind me? I could do that on the video screen, but I think I might violate YouTube's standards and practices. This is having to be an adult stream. Oh my God. Sorry, guys, burping. Dion Vancouver. Cheers, Dion Vancouver. It's the first time I've seen your name here, and as we do on the show, it's a long-standing tradition. Anybody who is new to the live stream, we toast. Everybody around who's in the audience raises the glass to you, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. It's our way of welcoming you to what is the insanity of this experiment. That is the live stream of the Director's Garage. He says, I was lucky enough to visit the Stax factory during the pandemic while living in Japan. Cool place to live if you're going to get caught anywhere. Not bad, my friend. And checked out the SRX9000. It's a wonderful headphone. He's looking forward to my thoughts on it. Well, yeah, and I have a lot to say about that headphone, including some things that I really discovered about it as I was reviewing it that nobody's talked about, which I'm super excited about. And Alanetta says he heard the Stax at Can Jam. He thought it was much more natural sounding than most electrostatics he's heard. He usually finds them to be too light on the low end. And I will tell you, I don't think that they're a revelation in low end. I think they're really detailed in the bass, and that's something we haven't heard out of these things. Alanetta says it was on the Blue Hawaii, and he A-B'd it with the Carina. Well, the Carina was not my cup of tea for sure. That I was unfortunate, and I hate to say that about anything. It just wasn't like when you're comparing this electrostatic powerhouse masterpiece, and then you've got something that is not on that level. And it's not on that price level either. I guess we should stipulate that. Yeah, it just was like, I don't know what I appreciate the Carina, and that Dan Clark is pushing their own boundaries as far as what they can do in an electrostatic. I just don't know what my use for it would be when I've got two I have three killer electrostatic headphones in here. I've got the SRX 9000, I have the Audeze CRBN, and I have the Stax SR007 Mark I, which is a phenomenal electrostatic speaker from 20 years ago. It really is special. Alan said then he put his Caldera on his on the new Headamp, and that was his jam. Yeah, well, the Caldera is next level. And what people miss about the Caldera is, look, you can get into a Caldera for, but I think $3,200, $3,500, something like that. They're not going to break. They're expensive as hell. There's no question about it, but they're not $6,500 expensive. They're not $5,500. They're not $5,000. And to do that at that price, it's almost a nearly untouchable headphone. Like, it's, you know, you can butt that headphone all day long, but you can't take away what ZMF and what Zach and Bevan have accomplished with that headphone. It's astounding. It's astounding. HeadFi, on the HeadFi front page as of the 19th, version 2.0. Oh, okay. I might have version 1.1 loaded on this. And I could, major sonic improvements. Ken! Buddy! Oh, this is killing me. What have I got on this thing? There's got to be a... Nope, that turned it off. That didn't work. I'll never, you know, I'm so resourceful. Let's see. Oh, information. Wait. Information. How do I do this? Execute. It doesn't tell me what I've got. Oh, jeez. No, 1.1. I'm on version 1.1. So, sonic improvements ahead. Wow, that's awesome. All right, well, I'm going to do that as soon as I get off the air here. It's going to make me want to get off the air sooner. You shouldn't have done that. Cheers, boys. It's Friday. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's great. Lena 2.0 brings a range of new features, including new mapper settings, filter options, and a balance control to the Lena Network DAC. That's so awesome. We are now able to offer the option of a higher ring rate. So again, more resolution on this thing. In turn, that allows us to move matching noise further out of the audio band. So it's a cleaner signal, not a more detailed signal. Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. And that's the benefit of having something that is software upgradable like that. And I'm sure the other ones are too. But that's the second revision now since I've had the Lena DAC that I've installed. And each one has brought a significant upgrade. And for that and many other reasons, I'm very comfortable with my purchase, although it was a very expensive purchase. You know, I told you, the Weiss 501, which is also the 502. I got to audition that at Can Jam. It's the same thing, just different package. And then same guts. And then the Halome, KTE 3, level 3. That was the other one I listened to. And I'm like, after hearing both of those, I'm like, you know, I appreciate what these are doing, but I don't know that I would trade. That does so many things that I wanted to do, and they keep improving it. I don't know if they're ever going to offer an Apex upgrade for that. I don't know if it's physically possible, if there's enough chassis room for them to fit whatever the Apex module upgrade is into that box. But it would be interesting to see if they figure out how to reduce the size of that circuitry and find a way to fit it into that setup. Because if you don't know, this is based on the Bartok, the DCS Bartok. Well, the Bartok and the entire Lena line, the Rossini and I forget what the Vivaldi, all three of those have this new Apex technology circuit in it that's supposed to like bring it up to the next level, whatever that is. Technically, I don't know what it means, but it's the next level, boys. It's better. It's better because it's the next level. It's got to be. Oh my God, so much fun. So yeah, I'll definitely, that's something I'm definitely going to check out as soon as I get off. I'll do that upgrade because it's super easy to do. It's amazing how easy DCS has made it to do these upgrades. Johnson says, IRS sucks. I kept aside some money. The IRS decided to use it to flip a car, but the car flipped him. Ouch. I hope that wasn't literally, because that's not a good time. You don't need a good car accident, Johnson, and that can, well, at least it gives you more listening time if you're recovering from your accident. Sorry, buddy. Cheers on that. Yeah. No, we had, October was the hardest month ever for us financially. I don't know if this is interesting or not, but it was rough. It was rough. We had, in California, they gave us an automatic extension filing till October. Well, October is the same month that our property tax bill comes in. It's the same month that our insurance hits for home and earthquake, and you got to have that out here in California. And then we had to prepay our 3 months and then pay the balance due on last year, 22. I was like, you know, just, here you go, boys. Just tell me when to stop. I'm just going to, you know, I'll just keep doing this until y'all say stop. And they didn't say stop. They just let me keep going. Christopher Luckenbach, KCT. No, it was a Midwestern station. It was WUSI TV, Olney, Illinois. As I said, Olney was the home. The slogan for the town was the world's largest population of albino squirrels. They had a bunch of white squirrels with red eyes running around the town. That's their claim to fame. Everybody's got something, right? Everybody's got to have something. That was theirs. It's so charming. So charming, and the town was so small, just a little diner on the corner, and a railway, you know, a railway road station, small little railway station, and a place to stop to pick up grain and drop off grain, you know, a granary for the local farmers, and that's pretty much Olney in a nutshell. It was fabulous. A couple antique stores. I took some photos back in the day. Maybe I'll digitize those someday and put them up and do a This Is Your Life slideshow of Olney, Illinois. Fabulous. God, I love that town. It was so great. It was a fun summer. A little lonely because I was working at night at a transmitter in the middle of a farm field, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed I enjoyed all the people up there. I remember them fondly. I don't know how many are with us anymore because as you're getting 50, you know, 55, I'm like doing the math. I'm like, some of those guys aren't around. They can't be. He lost money on the car he wanted to flip. Okay, well, do I have? No, I don't have a toy car. I was gonna do the demo of Johnson's car. He was trying to flip, and it flipped and broke apart. If I had a Lego, we could do it. Special effect. Oh, that's so funny. That's awesome, though. I'm sorry you lost money on the car, though. That sucks. Chance D says, he's sorry for being late. He was at his AA meeting, Audiophiles Anonymous. Cheers. I'm looking for a sponsor. So am I. I'm interestingly enough, so am I. I'm looking for a sponsor for the show. I was hoping that Apple or IBM or Hewlett Packard or, you know, somebody would step up and go, dear director, I get those all the time, though. You know, I get sponsor offers all the time from folks, and they're not real. As soon as somebody sees you have 5,000 subscribers, it gets really interesting online. You get a lot of notes, and a lot of people say, oh, we promise you big money, but we want you to produce this commercial for us, and then, you know, and I'm like, well, let me tell you how this works. You buy the time, and then we fill the slot. And they're like, and then they never reply. They want the free advertising, and then they don't want to pay. And then the other thing was, I had Fuji water. You know, it looked, actually, it was the most legit looking of them all, but the email address wasn't from like Fuji.com or something like that. It was from some strange email address. And I'm like, that looks sus to me. I'm not even going to reply. But I was actually interested because, you know, I'm like, well, I could be drinking. There's no reason I couldn't be drinking out of a specific water brand on the show. Call me Avion. I could do Finland Gringo Star. I could do Finland's favorite water, Iceland, whatever it is. Ice Spice water from Finland. Did you guys see Ice Spice on Saturday Night Live? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I watched both performances, and I'm like, you know, Taylor Swift showed up, all these people showed up, they were all excited, Ice Spice, and she performed, and I went, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm like, I respect anybody who's an artist, and I'm sure there's something there that I'm missing, but it was like mostly dance, and there's hip hop music, which is fine. I like hip hop, but no bridges, no, like it was just, in fact, it was almost like an A line repeated over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, I got it. I got the message, but can you tell me something else about this booty you are so excited about? Whatever it is. I don't know, guys. I don't get it. Ice Spice. That is a phenomenon that evades me in understanding. I get Taylor Swift. I get Beyonce. I get Jay-Z. I understand Kanye. I understand the appeal of these guys. I understand their talent. I appreciate some of their talents. I don't appreciate everything that they've ever done. You know, my heart is in different places. I like, you know, I'm more of I like jazz, and I like classic rock, and I'm probably my go-to is new wave, second British invasion, in the early 80s, and everything that went down there with the Talking Heads and the Clash, and, you know, those are my more like my core, you know, lane, but I like classical music. There is a genre of hip hop that I just don't understand. I don't get it. I just fail to get what people are getting out of it. And I guess I'm the same way about trance music. And I guess if you're high on ecstasy and you're in the middle of a field at Burning Man, it's probably the best music you've ever heard. But I'm never going to be at Burning Man, I don't think. And I'm probably not going to be on ecstasy anytime soon. Although, it's great. Now should I do it? Yeah, why not? Oh, I mean, if you happen to have any extra, I don't know where you might. Shameless. It's just one night of fun, boys, and then you need some water to wash you. You guys see those ecstasy kids all walking around with bottles of water. Poland Spring. Give me a call. Gringo, welcome to the show. Avion spelled backwards is naive. What was the song called, or joke? For Ice Spice, I don't know what it was called. I honestly, like, it was those two songs on the. You can go watch SNL's channel on YouTube when I'm off the air, boys. Oh man, my viewership just dropped. I must have cut to a commercial or something. I don't. I just don't get it. I watched that show, and I watched both performances, and I just like, man, what do you buy that music for? What are you doing with it? Like, I don't. Is that? It's not like audiophile enough to make me like wowed by its sonic reproduction of whatever. And the lyrics weren't like there wasn't a message there that was interesting. I don't get it. Gil Renard says a couple more guys, and then we'll start wrapping up for the weekend and let everybody go out and have their fun. Michael, have you reviewed any Vioelectric amps? No, I haven't. He's run into folks on the forums and YouTube who swear by them. No, I haven't, and it's not that I have a bias against them or anything like that, but I just haven't gotten them, and nobody sent them to me. And when I was looking at amps, that would have been like back when the time I would have heard them would have been back when I was auditioning like the Burson, and I wound up going with the Burson. I went down a Burson path, for about a year. This is before the show even. That would have been when I would have been getting into Vioelectric stuff. It just never happened. It never, it never came to pass. And there was always something else, in the way. But if somebody sent me one, I would definitely take a listen to it. That would be phenomenal. I definitely would review it. I just haven't had the occasion for them. And I also had a discussion with somebody the other day. We were talking about somebody was swearing by amps and sound, and we had got into a discussion about amps and sound, and somebody who had heard the Bakun on the Susvara and heard the amps and sound on the Susvara said, "Oh, the amps and sound is the Bakun can't drive them," and I'm like, looked up the power ratings, and I'm like, well, the amps and sound is 8 watts into 8 ohms, and the Bakun is 25 watts into 8 ohms. I'm like, how are you getting that much better out of something that's that much less powerful? I'm not sure. But that was an interesting discussion we had this week. And I think what I came to the conclusion of is they probably had the Bakun in low power mode. Because the Bakun has got, and one of you guys sent me the instructions on how to get the thing out of low power. It's so confusing. It's the hinkiest. As much as I rave about the amp, I'm like, the design is, I like the looks of it, but the way they implement stuff is ridiculous, and the remote is completely confusing. It's really bad ergonomics on that thing, although it's attractive enough, I guess. But yeah, we had a whole discussion about the Susvara this week. I still have the Susvara for sale. I had a couple of nibbles on it, but nobody has bit. It's still for sale. I'd sell it. Michael is asking our leftover E. Yes. No. He had ice spice at Starbucks. That's the comment of the afternoon. Chance D. Cheers, my friend. That's the best comment of the afternoon. I love that. That was funny. What is all the spice stuff at Starbucks these days? I don't even go to Starbucks. I don't drink coffee. I drink the hard stuff. Iced tea, my friends. Unsweetened. Gil Renard, he used to have a Vioelectric 281. Good, slightly warm, great bass, good clarity. Integrated DAC sucks. Oh. Well, there you go. I can't. I'll have to take your word for it, Isoparametrics, because I haven't heard it. He listened to the Susvara on the amps at CanJam. He did not think it sounded. He did not think it sounded powered. Yeah, and one of the things I'm kicking myself for was I wanted to check it out on that Viva tube amp, that big honkin'. And I think that one's like 45 watts of tube goodness. I should have listened to the Susvara on that. They had it wired into that amp, and in retrospect, I'm like, I should have taken a listen to them there just to hear it, and I didn't, because I had my my Caldera with me, so I listened to that. That was the thing with the big red tape recorder and the tape player, the reel-to-reel deck, and then they had that hooked up to the Viva, which was fabulous, fabulous. Kevin Jock says, "Happy ZMF November to those participating this year." A ton of there's a little heart emoji that keeps popping up on my on the last thing, and I can't read the bottom of the thing when it. I can't read. A ton of mods already sold. Models, probably. A ton of models already sold, and it started 40 minutes ago. Oh, I didn't know that. I would have led with that. Oh, so go over to my friends at ZMF and check out what they've got for sale. And then don't forget that Audeze usually has a clearance coming up for November for their Black Friday thing. So you'll be able to get some, usually they'll release some like rare, they'll probably have some old LCD4s that were sitting that they discovered in the warehouse somewhere. They usually release those at a discount. And like the OG LCD4s, the ones that I have, not the newer models. But yeah, you could do that. So yeah, head over there if you want, ZMF. Maybe I'll go over there when this is over. I have no money, but maybe I can go over there and oogle what he's selling. I always like those stabilized wood ZMF headphones, and I still would love to hear either. What do you guys? Let me ask you guys. As I'll put up, maybe I'll do a poll. Nah, I don't have time for a poll. We're going to be off the air soon. If you guys had your choice, and those of you who know and have heard, because I haven't heard either. If you had an option of getting a Verite closed or an Atrium closed, which would you want and why? Type your answers in the comments, because I would love one of those two over your headphones would be just fine with me. But which one would you prefer if you had your choice? I had the Verite open, and it was just too bright of a headphone for me, and that's. As I discovered later on in this show and my sessions with the beryllium drivered Focal that came after it. I'm not a fan of the beryllium drivers because they tend to lean a little bit bright. And the Focal Utopia was, like over time, I was really excited about it when I got it because it was one of those landmark headphones that I think everybody wanted to own at some point. And to get one in here at that stage of the show when I was only 20 episodes deep or so was super exciting for me. And I listened to them like crazy and really enjoyed them. And then, you develop a more better sense. And when you get to compare headphones you haven't heard, like the Abyss 1266 TC and some of those great headphones that came out, you began to like revisit and rethink what your tastes are and why you like certain things and what is it about those that you liked. And I decided that the Verite closed and that beryllium driver sound was not for me. But it came, those are things you discover on your own audiophile journey, and there are people that rave about the beryllium drivers, and they're not wrong. It's just their taste. It's what they like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with either of them. I had guys that were like insulted, that I sold my ZMF Verite open back. They felt like personally hurt by it. And I guess it get that way, but I'm like, Isoparametrics would be up for, Viva amp sounds so good. He read a few, this is Isoparametrics, we're catching up in the chat. The Viva amp sounds so good. He read a few years back on HeadFi that they were missing protection circuitry and people were damaging their headphones. So a note of caution. I've heard that too, though, about people who've hooked their Susvara up to speaker amps, and I had a number of people urging me, pleading with me to hook my Susvara up to my Krell power amp because they said they can take it, and I'm like, I just don't want to take that chance. I don't want to take that chance. What if something goes wrong and I fry out? This show goes off the air real fast if I start frying out $5,500 headphones. Alanetta says, Atrium closed. Voting on my little mini poll. Oh, wait a minute. Gringo Star says, there's actually one band of electronic music that is really something amazing. Infected Mushrooms Converting Vegetarian Side 2. It's like classical mixed with heavy, clear vocals. I love the name, man. I love the name. I'm going to raise a glass to the name, and I got to copy this over to my chat now. I got to my notes. because there's no way I'm not listening to that along with the Rolling Stones later tonight. Okay, I got to put it in notes, so I got to find my notes app. That is amazing. That is amazing. It's the best band name maybe in history. There we go. So what I do when I find a note that I want to keep is I copy it over to a notepad, and then I can revisit it. Alan says atrium closed. He had both. He preferred the atrium closed personally. He has similar leanings as I do with the Caldera. Yeah, the best thing about the Caldera is it's everything the Susvara is, but it's got bass. It's not as fast as the Susvara, just a little bit tick slower, but you know, when you're pumping that much detail, it's like you're arguing over, you know, peanuts. Hipster Cow says he was a big fan of the atrium closed, but he didn't get it as now he has to save up for the Mascobo amp. I know a lot of people are mad at me for not hearing the Mascobo, including Ryan Dietz, who I've had an exchange with, and we may be seeing some of the Mod House stuff in here at some point as a result. Ryan said he didn't want to seem like he was bragging or, you know, too inside baseball on the show, and he's being respectful, and I appreciate that, but I'm like, you held out on me, Ryan Dietz. Didn't know who you were. Hipster Cow, he's looking at the Mascobo 2. It's expensive, though. Have you heard it before? Verde Close has some peaks in the upper mids for him, piano horns, etc. That's exactly what I heard, Alanetta. Almost mirror that. Don't listen to that genre normally, but the ultimate master version of something is brilliant. Don't need ecstasy for it. Two Israeli guys. Hey, and the Israelis need all our help they can right now. I'm not political, but you know, sports folks. AC, I saw a video of what went down there in Israel, and I was just horrified. It was a music concert. I'm like, it was a trance. You know, I'm sure a lot of people were out there tripping out, and you know, to the songs, and then the next thing you know, it's a very ugly situation. It was horrible. I saw the news report. I don't get political on the show, though, and for a lot of reasons. It's just, I think people come here to escape all that shit. And I do too. Okay. The atrium closed can be bright, but complementary pair of tubes, and it's real good. Or just wait for the Caldera closed. Well, that's what I'm suspecting he's going to do a Caldera closed at some point. He has not by any means indicated that that's in the works. But I would think that would be a logical thing to do. I love the Caldera, though. Riviera AIC 10 Viva, Egotista 845 are the goats with the Susvara. Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for all. You know, there's a lot of really good stuff out there. I just don't know that the Susvara is like got the tuning that I need, that I'm seeking. And I think the deeper I got into the Susvara, the more I realized that maybe it just wasn't the headphone for me. And that's hard to say when it's like the headphone that everybody calls the best headphone on the planet, that realistically people can buy. You know, you can hold up the Apiro and the Shangri-La and the HE-1, but it's like nobody can afford that. That's an absurd product that nobody will buy. You know. They're going to buy the broken one that came up. Remember that whole thing where one got stolen and then it got broke, and then headphones.com got a hold of it, and it was the whole thing. Hipster Cow, Mascobo, Ed Kent Jam fell in love with it. It's better than Ampy. Heard that. Album from 2002 still sounds like it was produced yesterday. All right, I'm going to listen, Gringo. I promise. Hipster Cow, yeah, he's been intrigued by those amps for the last 2 years. Ton of audio files, and fellows have them. That Viva that they had on display was 18 grand. Whoa. That's righteous, man. A couple more and then we'll say goodbye and let you guys get on your weekend. Where we at? I just lost my place in the chat. Normally I mark it and I didn't. Hey, you. Heard the Mascobo. Okay, we did that one. There we are. But I got to get this crazy thing off of it. All right. Chance D says he has the closed and he loves them with the suede ear pads. Okay. Good to know. Anthony Berman, that'll usually take some edge off the headphone. You're using that to damp them a little bit, damp some of the stuff. Anthony Berman says he's going to sell a ton of stuff as soon as, and look that way soon. Yeah, that's what I got to do. To look anyway, I got to do that. Verite Closed is a bonkers headphone. One of the best ZMS best headphones. Okay, he votes for the Verite Closed. Atrium Closed is all about sub-bass, but it's kind of wonky in the tuning. Okay, I could see that. Level 42 man, cheers, Level 42 man. Greetings from London. We're just getting ready to wrap up. I'm sorry, boys. I have to start saying goodbye. Mrs. Director is in the house, and I need to go pay attention. Tips to staying married for 20 years, boys. Hey, greetings from London. London's one of my favorite towns, as you know, Level 42 man. If you've watched the show before, London is the place I would live if I wasn't living in LA and I could live anywhere. Absolutely love London. I love everything about London. I love the people. I love the food. I know a lot of people don't like the food. They make fun of the food, but I love the food. I love the vibe. I love the culture. I love the music culture there. I love everything about it. There's not a bad part of London. Even the bad parts of London are 100 times better than the best parts of LA. I love the town. It speaks to me. Like, you know how you go somewhere and you just feel like I fit in here. Like I fit here. Like I could imagine my life here. It's just so expensive. It's just more expensive than LA, which is crazy because this place is not so expensive. Like 1,800 square foot house is $2 million here. Nothing special about it. It's got a, there's not like clawfoot tubs and jacuzzis out back and pools and everything. No, it's a basic house on a basic square lot. Small house on a basic square footed lot, and yeah, $2 million. That's welcome to LA. That's where it is right now. You got to go way out of the city to get anything nice for $2 million, and that's like a basic house. Oh, it's in the works. Caldera Close. You're sure it is? He's talked about it on HeadFi? Okay, I missed that. I missed that. And when I would talk to him about something a while ago, he didn't mention it, so I didn't know that it was a go. I know he's doing that portable headphone is the next big release for them. That's coming in December, which I'm anxious to try out. And he has intimated that we may be getting one here at the Director's Garage, which I'm totally, we had a real heart-to-heart, Zach Bevan and myself at Can Jam, and they're just the best people. It's so entertaining and funny and everything you would want an owner of a company to be, everything. Not Too Political loves listening to that retro funk Chromeo, which ironically Palestinian bro and an Israeli bro who are best friends. That's where the world needs. Absolutely. Cheers to that. Raise a glass to unity and peace. I'm Ringo, baby. Zach told him at Can Jam London, Caldera Closed is going to happen, to watch this space. Watch this space. Maybe I'll get an inside line. I wasn't even aware they're doing it. Ace of Spades, cheers, peace, everybody. Okay, we're going to start wrapping it up. Got to send Michael some E so he can trip out on some trance music. Oh. No, guys, don't send me anything. Don't send anything to me. Don't send me. I don't want to hear about it. And I don't. There's no interest in that at all. I don't know what you guys are saying. Level 42, always welcome. Yeah, I love London. One of my favorite towns. I mean, just probably my favorite town, honestly. Zach is awesome. He really should. He really should own some headphones, one of his headphones. Yeah, if I can push you anything, I would say jump in on the deep end and get into that Caldera, man, and your life is gonna improve. There's so much to love about that headphone. It's phenomenal. The one thing I didn't ask him about, it's way back there. I'm not gonna go get it, but it's busy back there reflecting light. I would love to give it to them and let them do like this atrium number on it where it's kind of ages it and weathers it a bit. It's a little too perfect. I would love to get that little beat up look to it. It's just that this is the prettiest headphone I think ever made. I honestly believe that. I'm sure everybody has their opinions and whatever, and some people like the new wave, that crazy look of the Sennheisers when they first came out. But this headphone to me is unbelievably special. It's, to me, it's the this is everything. This is just everything. I love the look of this thing. I love the weathering on it. I love the way the copper is aged and it's smudged up and it looks like it's been sitting in a backpack for 100 years. I think this is what every headphone manufacturer should start building their headphone with. And props to Zach, because this is the other thing. I'm just going to, give you some love on ZMF for a minute. When I got that the Verite Open, none of this was this. That was a headphone when I got mine in 2019, 2020 maybe it was. I don't remember. But it was the headphone that most felt like, I said it on the show, it feels like a collection of parts. Like he had a bin of parts and he put them together and assembled a headphone. They have refined this design, and this is so much more comfortable than any other headphone he's done, and it's so well finished. My only thing I'm asking for in future releases is figure out what to do about this little tab here. I would like to see this tucked under or sewn up or something. I would like to see that finished more. But the rest of this headphone is just beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful headphone. Just crazy. Ringo Starr, London is a great town. His sister lived there for almost 10 years, visited there every year. She lived in rural England now, which is even more beautiful. Yeah, it is. And I've been out there. I did shooting around Stonehenge, but we couldn't shoot. I've shot at Stonehenge, and I went out there. I got a whole bunch. I had a whole run of photos that were Stonehenge. I did spend a day out there shooting just Stonehenge, and then for the movie, for one of the Transformer movies, they did a thing where they blew up Stonehenge. So they couldn't really blow up Stonehenge, and they weren't even allowed to shoot at Stonehenge. So they recreated Stonehenge in a field. So we were out in rural England shooting that. And I went to Blackpool. And I spent a night in Manchester, which is one of the craziest nights I ever spent in anywhere. Manchester on a banker's holiday is the zoo you always want to visit but never want to stay at. It was so much fun watching people drop dead drunk at 2 in. I've never had a better time people watching in my life. Fabulous. I have so many great England stories. I went to Blackpool to shoot DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. We were with Will Smith, and they were doing. They did a reunion concert. This would have been probably 5 years ago, and me and my buddy Kevin went up there. We went out to Manchester first, and we toured the stadium, Manchester United Stadium. We got in the locker rooms. We got to go on the pitch. It was like hallowed ground. It was amazing. Kevin, I credit with getting me even deeper into the thing that is Premier League soccer. I love watching it. Premier League football, I guess I should call it. Unbelievable. Okay. Sheep farms, all of it. Stone fences. I love. And I like watching those British renovation shows. You know, the ones where somebody will buy an old castle or an old manor, and then but it's like all in ruins, and they go in and they have to put it together and make it into a home again. And I love that. It's just fantastic. I watch those. That's my late night viewing when I'm, desperate. Yes, Caldera. He bought a ZMF today. If he bought a ZMF today, it would be the Caldera. Yeah, good choice. Gringo Star, where does your sister live now? Caldera kicks arse. It's the nicest possible way. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Love the aged metal. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, boys. I'm telling you. Talking about Variety Audio, he has a pair of Oracle Thalias. I don't know that headphone. Okay. I'll check it out. Have a great weekend, Michael. Excellent show. Yeah, we're going to wrap this down. Close to Nottingham, his sister lives. Anthony Matlock, it's flooded. Matlock is a cool place. I haven't been there. That headphone, that is the headphone that goes with a smoking jacket, brandy, and a good Cuban cigar. Absolutely. Jazzy Jeff, nice. Yes. Oh, and it was great. I've got some great photos from that. I'll show off some time on the show. Those I can show. You should go to Newcastle, Michael. It's even more bonkers, especially the women. I got to tell you, it was the best night of people watching ever. My buddy Kevin and I had the best time. The videos, she said, are horrible. The whole town is flooded. I'm sorry to hear that. Oracle Theralis made in Canada in 1995. Wow. Yeah, we had terrible flooding in the UK. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, guys. All right, I'm sorry I got to rush out of here, but it's time, boys, and I got to go take Mrs. Director. Either I got to take her to dinner or I've got to make her dinner, one or the other. All right, so thank you guys for stopping by. Look next week, fellas. Look next week for the for my electrostatic, the full electrostatic. I'm glad I got to preview that to you guys today. I hope you enjoyed our 90-minute hangout together. Tip your waiters and waitresses on the way out the door. Make sure you recycle those beer bottles, boys. There's an environment to worry about somewhere. I don't know. And thanks for stopping by today, and I'll see you guys before you know it. Hey, cheers, everyone.